Welcome everyone. Since I had so much fun putting together the $100 NES and Super NES challenge, I figured I have to do the Sega Genesis too, right? The problem is I have a lot of history with the Genesis, plus there's so many good games that are still relatively cheap. So when I started selecting potential games, I began to realize how hard it was going to be for me to compromise. But then I got the genius idea that I bet my wife would pick a lot of the same games as well. Long story short, I was right, so technically this video is my wife's $100 Sega Genesis challenge. Next month, we'll talk about mine. Let's get right to it. First up, Sonic 2. Personally, I would have picked Sonic 3, but this isn't my list. But considering Sonic 2 is cheaper than Sonic 3, it's a wise choice. I mean, it's still a Sonic game, right? Anyway, what's there to say that hasn't been said about this game? Even though Sonic has been through hell over the years, I still love him. I never understood why Sega felt the need to reinvent the wheel with every new Sonic game. And then comes Sonic Mania, which ended up being the highest rated Sonic game in 15 years. Surprise, surprise, all the fans wanted was another classic Sonic game. Next up, I'm not really sure why I'm showing it because you really can't tell what it is, but Altered Beast. I really hated this game the first time I played it. It just felt kinda clunky. But then the wife played it for the first time and was somehow better than me, and I wasn't having any of that. Eventually, I did grow to appreciate the game for what it is. However, I really don't understand the main villain. As you may know, you collect orbs that power you up and make you bigger and stronger with the exception of your head. And when you've collected enough orbs, you then alter into a beast. It's a cleverly titled game. Now, my problem is when you make it to Lord Voldemort or whatever and you haven't achieved your animagus ability, I'm sorry, Harry Potter is playing in the background while I'm writing the script. He just runs off. However, if you have altered into a beast, he then also alters into a beast and the battle commences. Wouldn't it make more sense to attack when the hero is weaker? Am I thinking too much into this? Anyway, you win the battle and then Zordon takes your powers away from you. See, wait, this is what I'm talking about. If he's able to take my powers away, why not take them away before we battle? Yeah, I know, it's just a game, but I don't see the logic here. Anyway, personally, I have a love-hate relationship with this game, but my wife loves it. Next up, Streets of Rage 2. How could this game not be on this list? I've played through this game countless times either by myself or with the wife. However, the wife typically does die during the elevator section on stage 8, but she tries her best. I'm not going to spend much time on this game. I've talked about it before, and I'm sure I'll talk about it again. Matter of fact, I'm finishing up a long overdue ranking games according to James' script. Anyway, I loved this game as a kid, and it makes me happy that I can share that love with the wife. Moving on, we got Golden Axe 2. Another childhood favorite of mine. And once again, another game the wife and I love playing together. However, compared to Streets of Rage, we suck at this game. I'm not even sure if we beat it. I know I never did as a kid, but we still have a fun time even though it usually results in us yelling and screaming at the TV. Like Sonic 2, I really don't have much to say that hasn't been said. Next up, Chuck Rock 2. I just now realized that almost all these games are sequels. Anyway, this game is a prime example of a sequel that's far superior than the original. I didn't play Chuck Rock until a couple of years ago, and yeah, I'm not a fan. This time around, Chuck Rock has been kidnapped, so his son, Chuck Jr., a toddler who somehow carries around a club that probably weighs more than him because 90s video game logic was the best, sets off to save the day. I've always loved the Flintstones-esque vibe of this game. I mean, they could no doubt exist in the same universe. I can't say the game is perfect by any means, but it just has so much charm. Anything with dinosaurs easily appealed to me as a kid. I mean, the first boss just happens to be a dinosaur. And hell, stage 2, you're riding on the back of a huge marine dinosaur scientifically known as a Yo-Mama-saurus.
Ha!
Anyway, I've never actually seen this game through to the end. Perhaps I'll eventually devote the time and maybe even do a more in-depth review in the future. Last up, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. Clearly I was saving the best for last, right? I'll admit, compared to Streets of Rage, this game kinda sucks. There's a serious lack of enemy variety, and overall the gameplay can feel a bit stale. But I was a huge fan of the Power Rangers as a kid, and I have fond memories of this game. While the game is far from perfect, there is fun to be had. Although it's not a game I would pick up and play on my own. I gotta say, I don't know what movie they watched, but for a game based off a movie, the story is all over the place. I mean, on stage 2, you're already fighting Ivan Ooze's Ectomorphicons, or whatever they're called, which is pretty much the climax. I gotta say though, these graphics may be better than the movie. And then all of a sudden they flash back to events before the movie. Why not a whole stage based off the planet Phaedos, where they acquire the power of the Ninjetti? I'm just saying, for a game based off a movie, there's a serious lack of, well, the movie. If you're a fan of the Power Rangers, like I said, there's some fun to be had. Otherwise, I don't see anyone else finding much enjoyment from this game. Overall, it's a mindless beat 'em up, and while I seem to be shitting all over the game, it does hold a special place in my heart. Ah, nostalgia. Anyway guys, that was my wife's $100 Sega Genesis challenge. Again, next month we'll go over mine. Thanks again for watching guys. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you again next time.